bet he'll stick around long enough for you to go down to Canada and come in. So, again, thank you for coming, and thank you for coming today.
Thanks, ma'am.
We're so happy to have you here. Tell us all about Rumors.
You know, it's funny, I wrote this book. It was better. Is that better? It was better.
Oh, it is.
Well, it's funny, one of the reasons I wrote this book was I figured if I wrote it, I could stop talking. Wrong. You know, after 35 years of talking about it, I have close friends who say, can't you let it go, Ken, you know? You have to keep bringing it up. I'd love to let it go. Anyway, the thing is, all of us, the handful of people that built major problems feel like, you know, in a lot of ways we're survivors of a plane crash or something. We went through something extraordinary. We all, you know, put the shoulders to the wheel and had to push hard to make a record. So basically, I don't know what to say when I'm here like this. How many of you are really familiar with what we're doing and what happened and what questions you have. But I'd like to say, if you have any burning questions, interrupt me at any time, because I like to get into the question and answer thing. It's always better than just let me talk too long. But anyway, the reason we're all here, I guess, is my book, which is pretty obvious from the title what it's about. You know, it's about the making of Rumors. So, 36 years ago, myself and a handful of people moved into a studio in Northern California, Sausalito to be exact, to record the Rumors album. The actual band members themselves were still not stars. They were normal people. They were vulnerable, and then so I got asked by them to come record their album up in Sausalito. So I left my good job, a good paying job in Los Angeles here, and I went to Northern California and start working with these musicians. And I actually had to live in a house with them, and I thought, oh brother, what have I got myself into? So it was me and my trusty little dog I was 29 years old, and we went up there, and within a few days I found that they hadn't told me all the details. There were skeletons in the closet they hadn't told me about. The fact that the entire band there was actually three men and two women. So there was two couples, and there was the other man was, Mick Fleetwood was married, and so within about 1 week, all five of the couples, or all four, all three of the couples were breaking up, and tears and agony, and so amongst trying to record this record, where I had to deal with people who were really not showing up or dealing with their pain and adverse ways to affect the record, my job as an engineer was to kind of be the traffic cop and keep things rolling, be the guy that made the scheduling, suggested what we do at any particular time, and so this made it a little bit difficult with the yelling and the crying, and particularly all the lyrics of the song were very hurtful, because they were exactly about that thing. You know, I want to leave you, I met somebody else, and every time we played these songs over and over and over again, and it must have just been salt in the wound every single minute that we did this. It was kind of an extraordinary set of events that was part of Rumors too. As I have written the book, I didn't realize a lot of the stuff, but afterwards I'm finding out more. For instance, Fleetwood Mac, that this record sold 44 million copies, so it was really struck the hearts of a lot of people. But the interesting part, I think, about it was that Fleetwood Mac originally was a blues band from England. So and eventually the blues band had broken up, and there were three members left: John McVie, Mick Fleetwood, and Christine McVie. Christine and John McVie were married, and Mick Fleetwood was the leader of the band. John and Mick were the drummers. So they up until Rumors, nearly Rumors, they were the blues band. formerly Bob Welsh, who was the guitar player for that Fleetwood Mac. Bob Welsh just died last week, sadly. But then, so after he left the band, Mick Fleetwood discovered that there was a young hippie couple. They made basically folk rock. Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, and they joined the band. So you had 3 blues musicians and 2 folk rock musicians that joined Fleetwood Mac, right pretty much before I came on board to start working with them. So musically, I think it's very interesting that blues is one type of music and folk rock is another type of music. Switching together made this kind of different blend, and which is I think what contributed so much to Rumors. Right on top of that, with the fact that everybody was breaking up, they were all the lyrics were very poignant. You know, they all seem to resonate even to this day. And even though they were talking about you're leaving me, this hurts, and you know we can get over it, we can get better. It was very positive and very hopeful in the long run. Lyrics. So, and I was a part of this thing, and I think it was extraordinary that. I don't want to tell you the whole book. I'm just trying to warm you guys up.
Did you have anything to do with the album that they made just prior to this, the one that had Iron on it?
The only thing I did, this is where I crossed over. They came to me.
Same group that did that.
Same group, yeah. Same group. That was the first one listed. So the first collaboration with the blues and the folk rock were Rhiannon. Now the interesting part about the folkies, they liked their marijuana. So they thought that was the thing that was cool. Where the blues guys, they were the boozers. So there was always this little joke between the two of them. You know, it's booze. Oh, you just want to stare at trees, hippies, you know. And it was an interesting combination of a lot of things that made this record go down the way it did. So we had the breaking up of the band. I had started working with them right at the end of their release of the first album, Fleetwood Mac album. And at that point, they were just releasing a single, and they asked me to come remix it for them. So, as an engineer, you take all the tracks of a multi-track and you mix it into stereo, and you make it something that's pleasing to the most amount of people that you can. If you're good, you know, that's what you do. So that's what I did. I mixed the single, and then I went off to do the record, the next record. So the interesting thing was, now that I'm trying to get to the point, I guess, it takes quite a while. The pain that was caused by the band, the tearing and everything, and the newness of the band, and the fact that the first record was kind of experimental as far as the hippies went. They didn't really speak their piece. And so they felt that the next record would be better if they could contribute more. The first record was just released, and we were still in the studio 7 months into the second record, the record we were making. The first record was just breaking #1. So the record company was giving us all kinds of rope to let us experiment and do the things we wanted to do, which was great. But the record company also, the management of Fleetwood Mac called the band and said, you know what? If you guys can repeat the success of the album you just did on this album, you will be superstars, and it would change your life forever. So I think the extraordinary thing, this is really kind of, I think, a great American story of, you know what, can do, and I'm not going to say no. They said, okay, you know, we're all hurting, we all know that we're mad at each other, you guys were cheating and everything else, but you know what, let's put this aside, let's be adults, let's be professional, let's make a hit record. And so that's, through all this, they spent 12 months in the studio together in a room just a little bit bigger than where I'm sitting, you know, locked in, cordoned into a room 12 hours a day. We worked 40 days straight, and put everything aside and said we're going to make the greatest record in the world. So, and what happened in between was, I think, the really interesting parts of the pain and how they dealt with